This video could change your life, and the reason I'm telling you that is because the method I'm about to explain in this video changed mine. I use this method to buy over $50 million worth of real estate without using any of my own money, and I'm just a normal dude that didn't inherit a dime from anyone. Now, this method I'm going to talk to you about is called the BRRRR Method 2.0. So you may have heard of the BRRRR Method, you may have heard the BRRRR Method, but chances are you have not heard of the BRRRR 2.0 method. Quick side note, while this is a method and a process that you can utilize to buy real estate using none of your money, if you're someone with a 400 credit score that makes 10 grand a year, this probably isn't the method for you. You probably need to worry about that active income, and you probably need to worry about getting that credit score up so that you can live your life to the fullest. This is a method for people that have a decent credit score and a decent job. I did at the beginning, and I didn't have to use any of my own money, but it helped that I had a 720 credit score. It helped that I made decent money. This is a good understanding for anybody, but I don't want to just attract people that think that none of your own money, so I'm going to have to utilize this. I don't have to have any other financial sense to me. You need financial sense, and you need to understand what leverage in real estate is. Those are the types of people that this will be most effective for, and that this will change their life. So if that's you, you definitely want to keep watching. The BRRRR Method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and systemize. B stands for buy. You need to buy a distressed property. That's key. It must be distressed using somebody else's money. Now, the most common source of somebody else's money is a private lender, a hard money lender, or maybe even some type of line of credit that you have on maybe your house or a business. So the key here is finding a property at a deep discount. And in order to do that, in today's market and probably going forward for forever, you have to have a property that is distressed. You're not going to find a discount. You're not going to get built-in equity by signing a sheet of paper by buying a property at market value. You need to buy it pre-market value. You need to find it off market, and you need to find it at a deep discount because it's distressed. The next step is the rehab step. You need to take this distressed property that you bought at a discount using somebody else's money. You need to rehab and get it up to snuff so that you can move in an amazing tenant and start to make it a cash producing asset. Now, there are a ton of different ways to rehab properties. I would suggest you looking at what other rental houses in the area, what the condition of those rehab is. If it's a really, really nice, fresh rehab property and you want your property to get that same amount of rent, guess what? You're going to have to match those fit and finishes to get that rent. However, if you want to make yours a little bit nicer, you will at least know what the top bar is. You don't want to go too far over. You don't want to over rehab a property. You can put too much money into it where you're not getting it back on a refinance, or a tenant's not going to pay a certain amount, even if the property's in incredible condition with gold plated here, marble this, soft close that. Looking at how far you want to take your rehab is a question a lot of people have, and the answer is really simple. Just look at what other properties are going for in the area and make your property a similar fit and finish. Now, as far as what to rehab and what to use, I like to go a little bit further. I like to look at the surfaces and focus on those in my rental properties. What I mean by that is I'm going to put in luxury vinyl plank, and I'm going to put in granite countertops, those types of things, so that when a tenant moves out, I'm cleaning and not replacing. If you put in carpet, that's fine. It's got a nice cozy feeling. A, it's kind of gross by the time a tenant moves out, and B, you're probably going to have to replace it every year or two. If you have luxury vinyl plank, you probably will never have to replace it. If you do, it'll be a long time. The third step is the rent step. You need to get the property rented. Now that you bought it and fix it up using somebody else's money, it's in rent-ready condition. It's a beautifully, freshly rehabbed house, so you will have your pick of really, really good tenants at a very, very fair market rent price. Now, the reason you do this is because you're getting ready to get a refinance, which is the next step on this property. But the bank is not going to lend you any money on this property unless it is rented, unless it is producing cash. In fact, some banks will make you wait maybe 3 to 6 months. Not all will, but some may make you wait that long. So you need to start to get it to produce cash so that it is now a cash producing asset. So it is now a lendable asset according to the bank. So they're able to give you your money because you probably borrowed money from a private lender and or a hard money lender to buy it and fix fix it up. And those are short-term loans. Those are 6-month loans. Those are 8-month loans. Those aren't 25 and 30-year loans. And you need to get 25 or 30-year loans in order to actually cash flow on this thing, because again, you're not using any of your own money. The fourth step is the refinance step. And this step's a little bit more confusing than the other ones, but I promise it's not that bad. And when I go over the real life example here in a minute, it will really drive this one home. So basically the refinance step, you're getting a refinance, a cash out refinance loan from a small local bank or small local credit union, meaning they will send out a third party appraiser. That third party appraiser will appraise the property. They will give it a market value, and you will get a loan from that small local bank or credit union for 75 to 80% of that market value. So this isn't the example, but for quick math, if the property is worth $100,000, they will give you a loan for $75,000 to $80,000. Now, it's a cashier's check. It's literally cash, but then it becomes a 25 or 30-year mortgage at prime-ish rates. So that will allow you to cash flow, because you're probably paying a private lender, a hard money lender to purchase them, fix up the property anywhere from 10 to 15%. It's really hard to cash flow over 25 years paying somebody 10 to 15% when you can get a lot lower rate amortized over 25, 30 years with a small local bank or credit union that will allow you to cash flow a little bit of money every single month, which is not the most important thing here, but at least you're getting a property that you didn't use any of your own money to buy, and you're using rent to pay all expenses, including the mortgage and other expenses, so there's no money out of pocket at any point throughout the process. After you've done all this one time, you will own a property that will have a great impact on your life, and will maybe even allow you to retire a little bit earlier, a little bit more securely. However, the real magic and the real beauty of this BRRRR Method 2.0 is you are able to do this as many times as you want without using a dime of your own money. And that's where the systems come into play. This is the S and the very last step. Assuming you want to scale and create financial freedom, you need this last step, because like anything else, if you want to do more of it, you have to get more efficient with it so that you're able to do more in less time, so that you're doing 5 to 10 a year rather than 1 to 2 a year. And that comes along with systems. And then this one's pretty simple. And this is actually the biggest reason why I have a community and why people pay to become a part of my community mentorship is I already have the systems and processes in place that allow you to scale. If you're able to pay me a little bit of money to become a multi-millionaire through scaling and systems, it's kind of worth it. So what you need to do is, and you can do this on your own or through a program like mine, is create systems around each step. So the B, for example, if you're able to create systems around buying houses, meaning you have multiple hard money lenders and private money lenders, multiple sources to get deals, multiple sources and multiple ways to underwrite the deals quickly, you're naturally going to be able to buy more. And if you create systems around the rehabbing, so that you're not like running around with a chicken with their head cut off, looking through Home Depot with glazed eyes at what toilet to buy, you have SKUs, you have processes, you have systems, you have communications, you have contractors, you understand how to use them, that will naturally allow you to rehab more properties or not have that part slow you down. And again, the rent step, if you have systems around maximizing rent, and this is kind of a definite difference in the original BRRRR method, is you can rent out a short-term rental. If it is a good area for it and it allows for it and it's a good use of that property, you can rent out that property on a midterm basis to traveling nurses or corporate leases, or you can rent that property out on a long-term basis to Section 8 or just normal market rent. So those are the types of systems that will allow you to buy more, because maybe it doesn't work as a long-term rent, it won't cash flow, but if you change it to a midterm rental and you're able to double the rent and maybe quadruple the cash flow, that maybe will make it a -50 to a positive $300 a month cash flow type of deal, which will allow you to buy more deals, which is the whole point of this scaling and systemizing part. Lastly, if you create systems and processes around refinancing, having small local banks, credit unions, or maybe even a national DSCR lender in your back pocket, you're able to execute that and not have financing be the reason you can't refinance and get a deal done. Let's go over a real life simple example. We'll have the numbers pop up on the screen so that you're able to kind of see one of my latest rental properties and see one in actual action. Before I show you that, if you haven't hit the like button now, hopefully you can do that. That goes a long way in helping this reach more people. And for sure, hit that subscribe and notification bell. All right, so here's one of our latest rental properties. We bought the property, the buy step, with a private money lender for $185,000. It was in pretty good shape, but did need some work. So the rehab step, was about $40,000. It was about $30,000 in repairs. Then we added some holding costs and some fluff. So we added $40,000 to the budget. So 185 plus 40 is $225,000. So we got a loan from a private lender for $225,000. That was enough to purchase the property with somebody else's money and enough to fix it up and hold it using that same private lender's money. Now here you can mix and match different funding sources if you want, but having a private lender is usually the best and most efficient way to do it. If you would like to learn how to find a private money lender, check out the description below. I have an absolutely free training where I walk you through how to find private and hard money. And there's also a training down there that walks you through how to do this in a little bit better detail with a PowerPoint presentation behind me where I walk through this at further detail. And you can even schedule a call with my team to learn more about my community and mentorship to see if you're a good fit through those links. Now that we have the property bought and fixed up using somebody else's money, we got it rented. Now it's actually on the market right now for about $24.50, I believe. I don't know the exact amount, but it is enough that will allow us to cash flow after the refinance in today's current market. So once we get it rented, or actually even before then, we are going to get it refinanced at a small local bank. Now, some of you, if you're just starting out or a little bit newer to this, may have to have the property already rented and the tenant moved in, or maybe even have to own it for 6 months. But we have built a relationship with a small local bank here, actually multiple of them, that they allow us to refinance even before it's rented, which allows us to pay back the private lender quicker or hard money lender quicker and get into that long-term lower interest rate debt sooner, and allows us to do more, hence the systems that I talked about earlier. So the property, in my opinion, was worth about $310,000, but it appraised for about $300,000. So they wrote us a check for 80% of that, which was $240,000, which was more than enough to pay back my initial private lender their $225 plus $10-ish thousand in interest, and even left a little bit of fluff for us to either keep in the deal if we wanted to have more equity, or pull out as tax-free money because it's a refinance and it's not taxed. So any money that you pull out on a refinance is not taxed, even if it doesn't all go back to paying some other lender plus interest. So now I own this property using none of my own money, and I'm going to maintain it using none of my own money. And doing this one time is amazing because guess what? This property is worth $300,000 today. In 15 years, it'll be worth $600,000. And that $240,000 mortgage I have will probably be paid down to about $150,000. So I will have over $450,000 of equity in this one property that I bought using none of my own money and maintained it using none of my own money, not even to mention all the tax benefits that go along with owning real estate. So hopefully you're starting to see the power of even just one property, but doing this multiple times, and the type of generational wealth that's being created by properly leveraging debt and properly leveraging real estate to create wealth for you. If you'd like to learn more about this, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, ask me any questions you have down in the comment section, and I will personally answer them on this channel here. I host my podcast, so we have a lot of cool podcast things going on. I do live trainings, I do videos like this. We have a lot of really cool stuff on the FasterFreedom Show channel. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell so that you're able to see more, learn more, and do more. And I would love to help you do it for free. And if you have any interest in my community, just hit me up on Instagram or check out the training in the description. See you on the next one.